Welcome to part 2 of over 25 Airbnbs I stayed in 2021 across Central America and the United States. So this episode starts with my mini cottage in the Mayan jungle. So likely you've heard about Tulum, Mexico, and I got to stay here for over 3 months. And you guys, this was such an answer to prayer, spoke to my soul in every single way. You can see it's literally in the middle of the jungle, but at the same time, it's only about 2 miles away from Tulum downtown. You can see I had my own bed, a kitchen with basically a all-in-one cooking device. It started with a D. I can't remember the name of it right now, but you can find it on my Mayan Jungle Airbnb Tulum guide on the blog and on the show. Full-size refrigerator, beautiful, adorable bathroom, bikes, and also a beautiful terrace. So from every single direction, it is a beautiful Airbnb. So you can see a kitchen with one electronic panel that allows you to do all your cooking. And I got to meet also this bunny too. She's super cute. Oh, that's cute. Again, another guest took a picture of her as well. So as you can see, it's breathtakingly beautiful. And I definitely recommend you check out my top 10 and my one-day guides, depending, and also my digital nomad recap if that's something that interests you, because I did one for month 1, 2, 3 in Tulum and my other destinations as well. During my time in Tulum, I also ended up going to Mexico City for a day, and I got to stay in this beautiful compact loft terrace in the La Reforma area while I was fixing my Apple. Actually, that time I was trading in my Apple computer and getting a brand new one. And this loft was actually in a building with a rooftop garden and a jacuzzi, and you can see it's beautiful, super clean, compact. The bed was super comfortable. Desk area, great to work at, bathroom, hot water, and then what you're looking at here is some common spaces. And if you're tuning in on the show, I definitely recommend you check out the blog post. That'll be live in a couple days. And depending on when you're listening to this, likely it's already live. Today's December 21st. And there's beautiful common areas. The building facade is blue, and then you can see here snapshots of the rooftop. And you guys, there is a jacuzzi up there, and you get to reserve it, and it's absolutely amazing. The lobby area, a common kitchen. Now you can see the rooftop and the spiral staircase that goes up to the jacuzzi. Oh, interesting. They're not showing the jacuzzi now, so it was up there. So don't quote me on this. Maybe they've restricted use now. Let me look at her description. I know the jacuzzi is still there. They just don't have a picture of it. Okay, so it's still there, and they're still allowing space, etc. Okay. So I ended up spending there one night there just to go in, trade my computer, and then I did go back to Mexico City later on. I'll talk about that, but I stayed at a different place because my budget is what it is currently, and that place was no longer available at that range. So after Tulum, I ended up going to Bakalar, Mexico. And if you've tuned into my show before, then you know that I actually ended up doing a project for a couple weeks in Bakalar. And at first I thought, everything was going to be great. I was there. I did the project for a week. Initially it was going to be 2 weeks or possibly more. However, after my second day there, after being very, very clear with the owner via a video chat, that I normally don't do roommates, or if I do, I have my own private room and private stay, but that I was willing to consider it for the efficiency. And obviously this is apart from Airbnb. This was a media project because it was a girl. And then on the second day I was there, after she saw how much work we were getting done, how much media, everything, she tried to spring up on me that I was going to stay with a guy as of Friday. And to top it off, which already was an absolute no, and there was no reviews at all anywhere for the guy. And he was coming from somewhere overseas, and I was like, no, at the first round, and no. And she wanted me to look at the messages and this and that. And it was like, no, No. I guess, and I thought about it, prayed about it, and I was just like, you already told him to come Friday and you haven't communicated with him yet because she was going to wait till the next day. And I said, I think it's just best that you let him come like you told him on Friday because likely he has purchased tickets. And just from everything, how everything was handled, I told you this up front. This isn't a surprise. And for you to try to force me on a personal and a professional level for whatever reason that, you want this, because Jennifer was already leaving. It was like, no. So in any event, that ended up ending earlier than I thought, but I wanted to stay in, and there was definitely pluses to that too. And you can definitely tune in to my four digital on the blog and on the show. I cover 4 ways to make money with digital marketing and several other posts. So when I found out that, I was leaving Friday, the first Airbnb I stayed at, because I really wanted to stay in Bakalar longer, you guys. Bakalar is magical. So all the things, like I loved a lot about Tulum, but all the things I didn't love about Tulum, Bakalar exceeded. Like peace, serenity, like not having outrageous prices, just everything about it. Untouched nature, everything's walkable. So this was the place I stayed in here. In Bakalar was my first stay or second stay after the digital marketing project. And this was my desk area. This was the common area for the coffee. There was like basically a mini living room in the middle, you can see. Bathroom amenities. And the owner, super, super sweet. And her daughter, super sweet. It is a private entrance. It's the second floor above where the owners live, Ivana, and then her mom, Luz, and took such good care of me. I actually ended up getting sick during my stay there too. And then they had availability, and I could have stayed longer, but I wanted to be closer to the city because anytime, I had private lagoon access, which absolutely amazing. Absolutely loved it. But then anytime I wanted to go to the city for anything or wanted to go to a cenote, I had to get a taxi. It was I didn't have to get a taxi. I could have gone by bike, but then at night there's no lights on the streets, so it's not at all safe. And then one time I tried to ride the bike in the morning and come back, the bike actually had a flat tire. And then in between, that I ended up getting sick, and I did go on a sunrise, lagoon tour. I ended up being hosted by What's Up Bakalar. So you can definitely check that out and on my 1 day and top 10 guides. And so then I found this Airbnb that was closer to town, closer to the Adeo bus station, and then closer for me to walk to cenotes, to the main parts of town. You can see super cute little efficiency, bed, bathroom, mini little kitchen area, and also stovetop, fridge as well. So this place was absolutely adorable. I stayed here a couple days. And then after I left Bakalar, I ended up going to Valladolid. So if you have tuned in with me in the past, you know that I got to go on an Airbnb hosted adventure hosted by Airbnb 100% in Mexico 2 years ago. And you can also check that out on the blog and on the show, our adventures with Airbnb Adventures. And I got to go from Cancun, we ended up being hosted to go to Holbox, you guys, which is absolutely incredible. And it was definitely checking off an item on the bucket list. We got to spend 1 night there. Definitely not enough, but I'm also grateful to have gone. Then we went to see Pink Lakes, and then we went to Valladolid. And I knew that I was going to go back to Holbox and Valladolid, and this time I ended up going back to Valladolid. I found this pink house Airbnb in Atlanta last year, and I knew I was going to stay here, you guys. And the pictures do not do it justice. It's so beautiful, indescribably beautiful. You can see the pictures are amazing. I loved my stay there. I did my morning routines out here, some workouts. It's also on my YouTube. You can find it. That's actually the owner's wife, Anita. I interacted with her some, but I mainly interacted. Let me show you the inside. Super, super cute desk area. Wait till you see the painting if you haven't yet seen the full video on my YouTube. Yeah, the mural rather. On the wall, super, super cute, so adorable, mini fridge, etc. And I ended up staying there about a week while I visited in town some more. Diana, the host from Tulum, actually came and met me for a day. We went to some cenotes and I went to go see the 7 wonders of the world. So definitely recommend you go there as well. And then before I was leaving Mexico, I ended up spending a night in Cancun and I found a beautiful Airbnb super close to the airport, hosted by Victoria and by her husband Andre. And as you can see, it's private rooms, but they have beautiful outdoor space, gardening, and pool. Some of the rooms have king size beds, some are twin or doubles, depends. They offer a couple rooms downstairs. So this time I stayed in the king size bed and ended up getting a ride from them in the morning to the airport. Super, super easy, super convenient to go back to Costa Rica. And how I ended up back in Costa Rica this time was because I ended up getting a project with Osa Peninsula with 3 travel brands: Tropical Escapade, Osa Green, and why is it escaping me? Tropical Escapade and Osa Green are the 2 I mainly worked with. Oh, Rancho Tropical. Rancho Tropical is the 3rd one, but that was the one I worked on the least, so it's escaping me briefly. And so I flew into Costa Rica, and the journey into Osa Peninsula is really, really long. So I wasn't going to go, I didn't want to go, that day after already having traveled, and flown. And also you can definitely check out my travel to Costa Rica guides, my 1 day and top 10 guides for more insights on what's happening, with COVID. But definitely, check things out before you go because things are constantly changing. So the comfy Sabana studio was about 20-30 minutes away from the airport, hosted by Natalia. It's a super cute little efficiency, great for a super short-term stay. And I've stayed there twice now. So you can see the complete view of the place when you walk in. There's a tiny desk / eating area. The kitchen's right here and the sink's right here. On the side, you can see the bed clearly, and then the bathroom is right there. So, there's a picture of the sink and the kitchenette from this angle. So that way you can see, exactly, what it looks like. And it's super easy to check in anytime, check out. So I haven't met the owners. I've only interacted with them via Messenger, but they are incredibly sweet and gracious. And so on this episode, in this series, I'm going to end it with the Drake Bay one in Costa Rica, which was the last Airbnb I stayed in right before I went and stayed a month with Cindy, the owner of Tropical Escapade, Osa Green Travel, and Rancho Tropical. And then I returned to the same studio in San Jose that I just talked about before heading to El Salvador. So let me cover Drake Bay, and in the next episode you're going to hear all about how Honduras was a surprise, El Salvador was a surprise, and even more things that came up. So I stayed in Drake Bay for only 1 night at Casa Tuanas, and it's almost like a B&B. And here, this is what my private room looked like, just a big queen-ish size bed. Some countries might call it queen, private small bathroom. And I literally, you guys, the adventure to get there was nuts. I took a bus in the morning from San Jose for over 8 hours to then go to take a boat across to go to Drake Bay from the final stop that we did. And the whole destination, or the whole trip rather, cost about $30, $20 for the boat, and about $10 for the bus ride. You can check that out on my Osa Peninsula 1 day and top 10 guides as well, and also on my snorkeling at Drake Bay, where I was hosted as well. So here you can see more of Casa Tuanas, the community kitchen. Super rustic, but super cute, depending on your preferences and your style. And it was definitely great for, 1 night. I came in around 7 p.m., passed out. The next morning went snorkeling super duper early at, if you haven't seen the episode, it is snorkeling in Caño Island in Costa Rica. Breathtakingly beautiful, you guys. And then after snorkeling, I ate with the group that also, ended up snorkeling. We were definitely super international, from Polish to Spanish and Italian and American, just all of the things. And then one of Cindy's tour guides, he ended up taking me directly to her house. So comment on which Airbnbs you would love to stay in. Definitely check out the articles on my blog and the show episodes, especially my 1 day in every city and or country and my top 10 guides. And if you leave a review on the show, I will shout you out, drop your website or your Instagram handle. And as always, guys, remember, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to.